Hello everyone and welcome to another tutorial on your favorite YouTube channel, The Power of Excel. Apologies for not posting content over the last few weeks as I had to undergo a surgery, but now I am back and will be posting content on a regular basis. Now in this particular tutorial, we're going to talk about two functions from the datetime category, namely the days function and the ISOWEEKNUM function. The days function returns the number of days, not the working days, between two given dates, whereas the ISOWEEKNUM function returns the number of weeks gone by in that year for a given date. Let us demonstrate these two functions with the help of certain examples. Coming to the first demonstration, we'll be taking up two specific dates, a project start date and a project end date, and we'll try and calculate the number of days between these two dates. We'll try doing it without using a function, and then we'll try using the days function. And then also we'll try and find out the number of weeks between these two dates using these functions. Let us start with this example now. Now, if you have to start and calculate the number of days without using the function, you can simply subtract these two dates as has been demonstrated earlier as well. And so this is the project end date, that is 31st of December 2022. And if you subtract the project start date, that is 1st of November 2022, you'll get the number of days. That is, has been done without using the function. Now, the same calculation can also be performed with the help of the days function. And so this is again a very simple function to use where you have the end date as the first parameter. So let me go to the dialog box for this days function, so the end date. Let me select the end date here. Then the start date. This is my start date. Once you click enter, you get the same number of days as I had done without using the function, that is by subtracting those two dates. Now, if we want to calculate the number of weeks between these two dates, we can easily do that by calculating the network days, that is by taking Saturdays and Sundays and holidays, and then accordingly subtracting and dividing by 2 to get the number of weeks. Let us do that exercise quickly. So the network days function, which has been this has been demonstrated earlier on the earlier examples on the same channel, and we'll use this function. We'll specify the start date here. This is my start date. I'll specify the end date here. This is my end date. I'm not considering any holidays here, so we'll keep it blank and click OK. Once you do that, you get the number of work days as 44. Now, if you want to calculate the number of weeks between these two dates, that is 1st of November and 31st of December, we'll simply subtract the number of days minus the number of work days and then divide by 2, considering that there are two Saturdays, there are days as weekend, that is Saturdays and Sundays for each of them. So let's do that. That is equal to, this is my number of days, that is B5 minus B6 and bracket closed divided by 2 will give me the number of weeks between these two dates, that is 1st of November and 31st of December. So this is again an application where days can be used. Now coming to the ISOWEEKNUM function, we have a second demonstration here, which again has some project data, and which this project data has been divided into a number of phases, as you can see on the left hand side in the phase description column. So phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4, and the dates are given accordingly. So if you want to calculate the number of weeks which have elapsed till 4th of February 2021, so we can make use of the ISOWEEKNUM function, which takes the date as the parameter, and you get the number of weeks which have elapsed, that is 5 weeks. Now, coming to the next calculation, that is phase 1 ends and the phase 2 begins. So we are assuming that the phase 1 is ending and the phase 2 is beginning on the same date, that is 8th of August. So if you have to calculate the number of weeks which have elapsed till this particular date, that is 8th of August, since the starting of the year, we can easily do that with the help of this function again. So ISOWEEKNUM, we'll apply this function here once again. ISOWEEKNUM, we'll specify the date here, and this this is 31 weeks have passed till this particular date, that is 8th of August. And if we simply drag this down, we'll be able to calculate this for the remaining uh, dates as well. Now, if you have to calculate the duration of projects between two successive phases or for each phase, for example, phase one is starting on 4th of February and ending on 8th of August, and we want to calculate these durations in weeks, then we can simply subtract this. So I'll do it in front of this particular row for phase one. So this is equal to 31 minus 5 will give me 26, and I'll put NA here because there are no values over there. And if I want to calculate for phase two is beginning on 8th of August and ending on 10th of September. This is equal to number of weeks elapsed, 36, minus number of weeks elapsed for 8th of August, give me 5. And if I simply drag this down, I'll get it for the remaining uh, dates as well. So this can help me in calculating the number of weeks for each phase, that is phase one, phase two, phase three, and phase four. Now, if I want to calculate the total weeks which have elapsed over this for this project, so I can simply sum it up. We'll sum it up these four specific values, and I'll get the value as 45 weeks. And in case I want to calculate the total duration on using days, we can again, this is again a demonstration for the days function. So if I want to find total duration in terms of days, not work days, but days. So again, I can use the days function here to, this is my end date and this is my start date. I get the number of days as 318. Now, the same calculation can be used to convert it to weeks as well by simply dividing this value by 7. So let's say, so this value is 318. So I'll take it from this particular cell and divided by 7 will give me the number of weeks, which can be rounded off really easily by making use of the round function. Also, round function, although we have not covered till now, but we'll be doing it in one of the subsequent tutorials. Round function and a number of digits we can put as 0 there, and we'll get number of weeks as 45. So this is again another application where the ISOWEEKNUM function and the days function have been used to find out the same attribute, that is the total duration in terms of weeks. Now let us come to the applications of these two functions. These two functions can be used in numerous ways and at numerous places. Number one, to calculate duration in project management given the start date and end date. So both the function, that is days as well as ISOWEEKNUM, can be used over there. Secondly, to compute number of days between two dates, whether it is project management or otherwise, we can make use of it. So we can make use of the days function over there. If you want to find the number of weeks of the year for a given date in projects, so there can be certain cases where you want to find out the week number, that, okay, what happened in week number 20 or what happened in week number 21. I want to find out that week number over there. So I can make use of the ISOWEEKNUM function to find out the number of the weeks which have elapsed till that particular point in that particular year. And also another very good application which most of you might have seen previous, sometimes in your day-to-day lives as well, is that it is can be used in pregnancy calculations as well, which usually happens in terms of weeks. So there we again we can make use of the ISOWEEKNUM function. Now, the alternatives for these two functions is we can, as already demonstrated in the examples we have done a few minutes back, so we can simply subtract the two dates to find out the number of days between two dates. So instead of using the days function, we can do that. That is another way of doing it. Functions like days 360, we'll be taking it up in our subsequent tutorial. Network days, we've already done that, and year frac can also be used in such a case, but calculations might become complicated in such cases. That is a possibility. And weeknum function can also be used instead of ISOWEEKNUM. So that is another variant of the ISOWEEKNUM function. So we'll be taking that up in one of our subsequent tutorials. So that is it as far as this particular tutorial is concerned. Now coming to the announcement for the question of the week contest, which I had asked in then my last tutorial a few weeks back. So the question I had asked was, uh, what is a shortcut which can be used to activate filters in Microsoft Excel if you're talking about the Windows platform? So the answer to this question is Control plus Shift plus L. That is a shortcut in Windows platform which can be used to activate filters. There are many answers, people who actually answered this question correctly. But there's one lucky winner which I have to announce, and that lucky winner is Mr. Amarpal Singh. So congratulations, Amarpal, and a gift voucher from Amazon is coming your way really quickly. So thank you so much for watching this particular video. I hope you like this content, and I'll be posting some more of such content in the subsequent weeks as well. I'll be more regular going forward. Once again, apologies for missing out over the last few weeks because of my medical condition. So thank you so much. Keep liking, keep learning, keep sharing, and keep subscribing. Thank you and have a great day.